You can try fighting the law all you want, but the law is always going to win. From politicians and celebrities to sports figures and business leaders, they're fighting the law. Now, here to sort out the nation's top legal news stories is America's favorite legal analyst, Royal Oakes. This is the Royal Oakes Show.
Robbing people with a 6-gun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Thank you, Mike Horn, and welcome to the Royal Oakes Show. And welcome, happy Saturday to our co-host, Ken Jeffries. How you doing, Ken?
Hi there. It's been a fun week.
It's been a wild week. Our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes, how are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Again, as always, happy to be here.
Well, so Roseanne is the huge story of the week.
Oh, my God.
The jungle primary is here at last. Your favorite story, Ken.
Yes, so finally we'll get to
the
that.
actual primary. We were talking about, next week we'll talk about results. A flurry of presidential pardons. We'll get to all that. And, of course, Harvey Weinstein, at long last, has been indicted. We will, of course, get to our hot tub time machine feature, and of course, in recent shows, we've been honoring the year 1968. And I know from just personal experience, and everybody recalls the Kennedy assassination, Robert Kennedy, MLK.
I recall it, of course.
Well, you've read about it,
That's true.
Of course, in your classes and so on.
History books. What are those, by the way? What are history books?
Daniel Henninger is a columnist for the Wall Street Journal, and he had an interesting piece this week talking about how amazing 1968 was. He mentions, for example, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Donald Trump all graduated college. They're all the class of 1968. The Pueblo, the Navy ship, was taken hostage, captured, and the 82 people were taken hostage by North Korea in 1968, the Tet Offensive in North Vietnam. Johnson decides he won't seek his party's presidential nomination. How often does that happen when a sitting president decides not to run for re-election?
3 or 4 times ever?
I don't think we're going to see Donald Trump making that decision. No. The 2 assassinations, of course. Soviet Union invades Czechoslovakia. The Democratic Convention in Chicago was basically a pitched battle between protesters and the police and so on. And then Nixon defeats Humphrey for the presidency. And musically, of course, we've been using our hot tub feature to honor 1968 songs. Rolling Stones, Jumping Jack Flash, Steppenwolf, Born to be Wild, Hey Jude by the Beatles, Otis Redding, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Janis Joplin's Piece of My Heart, and Scarborough Fair by Simon & Garfunkel. So pretty amazing year.
What a year. Yeah, that was years ago. CBS News did a feature on this probably about 30 years ago now. I think it was called 1968, A Crack in Time. And I think it was hosted, I don't know why I remember this, by Harry Reasoner.
Right.
Who lived through it, of course, and so I don't know. I just thought back to that, and again, he recounted all the things that happened when that special, up until when that special aired, which was probably about 30 years ago now.
Yeah, we were talking off the air about a fellow we both didn't really know, but we heard for decades, and that's Bob Fuss. He was a CBS News national radio correspondent, and of course, Ken, when you were with KFWB, KNX, you were covering basically the same stories.
Yeah, I never met him, but we ran a lot of his stuff because he was a UPI. I think he was also United Press International wire reporter before he went to CBS.
He was, yeah.
And so we used a lot of his stuff.
So I just finished reading his memoir, and I'll tell you my personal connection with him. His memoir is called Kidnapped by Nuns. And the reason it's called Kidnapped by Nuns, Bob was born with very serious birth defects, kind of similar to spina bifida. He grew to be 4'11". He walked with crutches. His one knee couldn't bend at all. And he overcame all of this. He went to Stanford. He was going to go to law school, but he decided he wanted to be a radio reporter. He fell in love with radio news at the Stanford College station. And so he covered all of the stories from Patty Hearst to Reagan, all the Oscars and the presidential elections. And the Kidnapped by Nuns title comes from the fact that he was covering the Pope going to Mexico sometime in the 80s. And a bunch of nuns saw him, and he was hanging out with the reporters, but also he was close by 5 or 10 disabled people who were going to be presented to the Pope who could pray over them, bless them, and maybe heal them. And he was being 4'11" with crutches. they insisted, you've got to come with it. And they basically manhandled poor Bob Fuss into this, corralled him with these folks who were going to be healed by, and so, of course, he finally made his way back to the reporters, but it gave him the title of his book. It gave him an amazing story. And the cover of the book shows him with a big smile on his face in black tie, standing there with his crutches. Clinton is at the same dinner in black tie on crutches because he had fallen and hurt his knee. And the guy just had an amazing career. He passed away just within the last year or so of a rare form of leukemia, and he'd retired from CBS News just before that. So I would recommend to anybody Kidnapped by Nuns. It's a wild ride, a wonderful memoir of Bob Fuss's career going throughout around the world.
Wow.
So we've got our feature, Moron of the Week, and of course, we have a Moron of the Week up top of the show, and then one at the bottom of the show, and then we vote. So here's my candidate number one for Moron of the Week. This fellow is a gospel televangelist named Jesse Duplantis. He runs a Light of the World, and he is advertising...
Sorry, did you say Lie to the World?
Light of the World.
Because I heard Lie to the World.
Light of the
That's
World.
because you've got headphones on. How are you supposed to hear?
They're obscuring.
He is saying to his flock, you've really got to donate $54 million so we can buy a Falcon 7X private jet. It nears the sound barrier, but it has noise-limiting acoustic technology.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Bluetooth-enabled entertainment center and an optional in-flight shower.
It'll get him closer to God.
Here's what
very
catapults
high in the
him
air.
into the ranks of possible morons of the week. This would be the fourth private jet that the ministry
He's
has.
crashed 3 already.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're all working fine.
Why does he?
He says
maybe he wants an Air Force.
he says
Force
that
for God, I don't know.
his TV program reaches 106 million people.
Oh my Lord.
His mission is to reach every soul of the 7 billion that now inhabit the earth. What about future people?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Now inhabit seems pretty discriminatory.
Yeah, so he says he doesn't like to fly on regular coach, regular commercial. He says he used to go with Oral Roberts.
I love it.
He used to go with Oral Roberts, who flew commercial, but he says, you can't manage that today. This dope-filled world, you get in a long tube with a bunch of demons, it's deadly. So that's why you need a private jet. So you don't want to be in a long tube with demons, right?
All you normal people who are demons and populate the long tubes of the world, I would like to be better than you. I would like to fly above you. I would like to fly private because I couldn't possibly be associated with you people. So why don't you instead buy me a jet?
So he's candidate number one for Moron of the
I'm
Week.
donating right away.
I don't want him in my tube.
So we've got this new approach on the Royal Oak Show. It's called Dessert First. We are going to cover the top story of the week, which is Roseanne, in my humble opinion. But first, we're going to talk about the more fun and the bizarro world stuff before we get to the top story in the B block. So the first item I thought we'd run by is that in case you were planning on having sex on Mars and having a baby.
The planet Mars?
Yes, the planet Mars. If you did that, officially, you would be a new human subspecies. The people who are planning the Mars launch, they're already thinking about it.
And you'd be an illegal alien, certainly.
Very good.
The Trump administration's working on that now.
Colonies of humans on Mars, it's not just science fiction anymore.
Right, okay.
Yeah, this isn't your
That's true.
grandfather's Mars. NASA and space agencies are working on how to get structures going, food up there, battling the inhospitable elements.
I saw Matt Damon do it.
But they say sex might be the biggest risk of them all because apparently it only has 1/3 the gravity of Earth up on Mars.
Okay.
And so that's going to cause health problems. Muscles will deteriorate.
Yeah, and we don't have the atmosphere, so you're not protected from solar
But
radiation.
it makes certain positions probably a lot easier for guys who
Maybe
gain
so.
weight like me.
Sure, I gotcha.
You could work for NASA with that kind of
Insight.
creativity.
Piercing insight.
So what I want to know is why is NASA saying that it would be a new subspecies of humans just because you're born on Mars?
So this paper's probably full of a bunch of smart people saying we're going to run into all these problems: gravity, radiation, other environmental factors that could affect a woman who's trying to carry a baby to term, could affect the baby, her ability to get pregnant, and any of those things that change this kid are going to make that kid so different than his or her parents.
So you're going to be like a reptile instead of a human being?
Probably not. But all you have to be a new species scientifically is unable to reproduce with the species that your parents are part of, because then you've diverged enough and you've become two separate species. You're moving off a direction.
The reptile dysfunction, I guess. I'm sorry.
But that doesn't apply here, because little Wilbur, born on Mars 17 years from now, is going to then be able to take his spaceship home and meet Tina from South Dakota. They're gonna court. They're gonna marry. They're gonna have a baby, and it'll be fine, in my opinion.
You would expect that, but these scientists, the radical revolutionary thing these scientists are saying is that it might be the case that he will be so differently shaped or arranged that he might not
well,
be able
here's a shape change. Funny you mentioned that. They say that if you're born on Mars, it could change the shape of your brain. Now, Ken, I know your brain is in the shape of a rhombus.
Right.
Yeah, it's in the shape of a...
I think you have X-rays
it's
to prove that.
Completely smooth.
So it's going to be a different shape up in Mars with the new Martian baby.
That makes sense to me. Different gravity effect on it. It's wacky.
Here's the problem. What happens if the baby is born on Uranus?
I'm going to let you investigate that as well.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that.
The hard-hitting insight from Ken.
Bizarro World Story number 2.
Over here, right?
Now this is absolutely incredible. I know folks love their dogs. I love my dog. But a study has found that 86% of adults would break up with their partner, their human partner, who didn't get along with their dog. Doesn't that seem a little extreme?
Yes.
The vast majority of dog owners won't stay in a relationship if their beloved pooch doesn't get along with their main squeeze. 4 out of 5 dog owners say, and they studied 3,500 dog owners by a dog walking service called WAG with an exclamation point, like Jeb. So their dog's reaction to a potential partner affects their feelings about the relationship, and 86% would actually break up with their romantic partner. Does this shock you at all?
It does shock me, but at the same time, I'm thinking there's a selection bias of people who are willing to spend the extra money to have a professional walk their dog and thus be part of this sample might be even more dog obsessed than the normal population. Regardless, though, you're still going to have people who are dog fanatics. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have a dog, but my girlfriend likes dogs so much. There's like a 99% chance she'd choose a dog over me. If today, a random dog off the street versus me.
She is a big fan.
Big fan.
I know.
Big fan.
30% of dog owners say they've used their dog to try to attract a love interest. I guess, it's almost a cliche. You go to the park.
You go to the dog park, right?
I've seen that movie.
And everybody gets...
Matthew McConaughey always has a dog. He runs away. And
it sounds like renting a dog is more effective than Match.com.
Rent the dog.
Yeah, rent a dog.
That is brilliant.
73%
That is $1 million idea.
Hertz.
Let's do it.
73% of people with dogs are more likely to swipe right on a profile of a person whose pet was in their pic. I assume swiping right is a good thing?
Yeah, swiping right on Tinder or similar
What about
features.
progressives? They probably don't like to swipe right, I would think.
Oh!
Bernie Sanders isn't going to do that.
No, he's definitely not going to.
Bernie was at Disneyland today.
And here's my...
Was he at Disneyland?
Yeah, he went to Disneyland to advocate for higher wages.
Yeah,
for the,
okay. I
Really?
saw that. I saw the tweet that he sent out saying, "Oh, Disney makes $1 billion in profit, but people are, employees are living under the poverty line, et cetera, et cetera."
He probably wants to unionize the hookers running around in the Pirates of the Caribbean. So
that's the area of the Disney part. That's off limits, isn't it?
Maybe. So here's the most bizarre statistic of all, having to do with the dog stuff. 16% of married dog owners would rather celebrate their dog's birthday than their spouse's birthday. That's harsh.
Spouses are so demanding.
I think that says a little more about...
You have to buy them gifts. You just pet the dog.
My wife, she sent me a Valentine's card once, but by accident she said, "My heart is Purina." I kind of a giveaway. She likes the dog better.
I love
than
it.
me. Sorry.
So our last item is the monkey selfie story is back. You thought it was dead.
Yeah.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said the monkey may not sue when the human being got all the royalties. The Ninth Circuit may have an en banc. The entire Ninth Circuit, majority of the 22 judges may look at it. So
Wow.
Stick around, folks. We're going to talk Roseanne when we come back on the Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. Do you like burgers? Then experience the ultimate famous 50-50 burger at Slater's 50-50 in Pasadena, California. 50% ground beef and 50% ground bacon. Stop by at 61 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena and visit Slater's 50-50. Experience our full bar with craft beer and more. Play in our cool new game room. View the best sports in our Slater's 50-50 TV lounge. Try our Slater's 50-50 burgers by design, too, and all of our our incredible food, including our Sunday Bloody Mary brunch. Check out our VIP event space for private dining and ask about our chef-inspired catering company with a completely scratch kitchen-based service. It's all at Slater's 5050 under new management at 61 North Raymond in Pasadena. Call 626-765-9700. 626-765-9700. Call now, 626-765-9700.
Kanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Aloha! Experience your home away from home being beachfront at the Kanapali Beach Hotel. Begin your getaway relaxing on over 11 acres of tropical Hawaiian gardens at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Voted Best Aloha Spirit by Hawaii Magazine readers. Just walking around the grounds with all the tropical vegetation, relaxing poolside, or kicking back in the sun on the world-renowned Kanapali Beach makes you feel like you're home in paradise. There's a package to fit all your needs. Wedding, honeymoon, activities, private parties, great food, or just good old beach fun. The hotel perpetuates the Hawaiian tradition at its best. Call 661-0011 or visit kbhmaui.com.
Kanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host, Ken Jeffries, and our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. So before we get to Roseanne, wanted to inject the Muppet movie issue into the discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Connor and I were talking about
I heard about
it's
this.
not a Muppet movie.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. So the name of the film is The Happy Time Murders, I think.
The Happy Time Murders.
And it's an alternative universe where there are humans and puppets who look a whole lot like Muppets. And apparently the puppets, are like it's a caste system. They're below the humans. That's the concept. And puppets are killing other puppets. And Melissa McCarthy is like an agent, a
detective.
Detective, yeah. Right. Okay. So Inside Edition called me a couple of days ago, and they said, would you talk about this lawsuit that's being filed by the Muppet Company? Now, Jim Henson, of course, created the Muppets, and he died in the 90s, and so the company has gone on, and the Muppets are a big thing still.
Yeah.
Well, his son is affiliated with this company that is doing a puppet movie, and they look a lot like Muppets.
Yeah.
But they don't call themselves Muppets, and it's totally raunchy. I mean, drugs and sex.
Is the son Brian Henson?
Yes, exactly.
Is he involved in this Melissa McCarthy movie?
He's actually the one making the movie.
He's doing the movie.
Oh! All the puppets for it.
So the movie is going to be made, and so what's happening is they've done a trailer. Actually, it's made, and so the movie's going to be released in a couple of months. And the trailer is an R-rated trailer. I mean, it's totally raunchy. Kids can't see it.
Yeah, I tried to watch it at work. I had to cancel that.
Yeah. So there's a catchphrase in the trailer, and it's "No sesame, all street." And so then they talk about the drugs and the sex and so on. And so on the basis of that, the Muppet Company went to court, federal court in New York, and said, "Judge, you got to issue an injunction to shut this trailer down. It's confusing customers. It's sullying our reputation. It's ruining the reputation of the nice Muppet people. Miss Piggy and Kermit
Sesame
and so on.
Street is our trademark.
Yeah,
and you're
that's
infringing on that trademark."
Was it the Walt Disney Company that went? Well, Disney owns the Muppets, don't they?
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that.
I think Disney. I am 99.999% sure that Disney they own them. I think they own them.
So maybe they're involved.
Disney went to court.
So I gave some comments to Inside Edition. Turns out I maybe was a little wrong because I was saying, I think this is going to interfere with the reputation of the Muppets.
That was my read on it too.
But the judge refused to issue a temporary restraining order, and the reason I think is the standard's very high. You got to prove A, you're likely to win down the road at trial, and B, you have to have irreparable injury. And he said you didn't really prove that. But there's going to be another hearing next Friday, so there's a second chance for the Muppet folks.
And the irreparable injury that they're talking about is they're saying people will actually be confused. That's the legal standards. They will be confused and think this is a Muppet movie.
Yeah, I saw
totally
the trailer.
Against the values.
I think I did see a clip of the trailer on TV. Maybe it was on Inside Edition.
You didn't see the whole thing because they can't show it on television.
No. But wasn't the character look a little like Kermit the Frog or something?
There's one that looks like Kermit. There's one that looks like the monster or whatever his name is. There's one that looks like Elmo.
Well, so now Brian, this is what confuses me. Brian Henson is involved with this project.
Yeah.
But he's got nothing to do with the original Muppet Company, which may be owned
probably,
by Disney,
which I think is Disney.
And I'm telling you, I think this is actually an inside job. I think the lawsuit is coming from inside the house.
Now here we have an Oliver Stone conspiracy theory.
You mean inside the Henson family?
Yeah, this is the best way that you could possibly promote your raunchy puppet sex movie that no one's going to give a crap about.
Well, you know
no
what?
one likes Melissa McCarthy anymore. And after Bride's
nobody likes Melissa McCarthy anymore.
Hey, after her star turn in Gilmore Girls, everybody loves her.
Of course.
And Bridesmaid.
She was Sean Spicer on Saturday Night Live.
That's true. That's true.
Now,
this is the best possible way to get free press for your puppet
and they
sex
got
movie.
it. They got it.
Years ago, we saw there was a Broadway show called Avenue Q.
Oh yeah,
which I think may still be running in certain places.
Kind of R-rated puppet stuff.
Yes, but it was to us it was fabulous. We took our kids to New York in 2005, and it was the first and only Broadway show they've ever seen. Because tickets were expensive.
Yeah, they still are.
But it's very interesting, and you could tell there's really no resemblance with the Sesame Street Muppets.
Right.
Although, I don't know if there were any legal things going on at that time and whatever they, but it was clear they didn't have a Kermit the Frog, thing. But
you gotta be careful with it. Nobody is confusing Weird Al Yankovic's "I'm Fat" with actual Michael Jackson's "I'm Bad," right? When you watch,
because Al used to go, and I know that Al used to go to the artist and ask permission.
That's true. He did.
If he could do a parody,
he still does, and that's a safe, smart way to do it. But in addition, there's just no possibility of confusion because it's so clearly parody from the way it's done. Whereas this is just. Yeah, it could be a dark, raunchy spin-off of it, and that's kind of what they're.
Well, what about now the R? It's going to be. If the film is rated R.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you're going to have parents who take their kids to this thing, thinking it's Sesame Street.
Unless you take the trailer out of the movie. So we're going to get into Roseanne big time. I have to say though, even though I may have Bigly. I blew it on the Muppet thing, but I got it right on Roseanne because I actually sent myself an email after ABC canceled it.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, my prediction is that Trump will find a way to screw up a simple, she sent out a hateful racist tweet, and ABC did the right thing firing her.
Yeah.
And
he did.
I think I was right.
Yeah,
he found a way to screw that up.
You sent yourself an email?
I did. It's actually here.
Send yourself an email.
We'll get more deeply into the Roseanne story when we come back.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. You experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Seekers of luscious and appetizing gustatorial pursuits, indulge your fancies with steaks so absolutely yum-yum, vegetarians have forsaken kale and Pilates and never look back. Fish specialties so fresh and delicious and chosen by King Neptune himself, and relish Colombo's Italian family specialties so delectable you'll be yelling out, bravo, bravo! And let's not forget Colombo's world-famous meatballs, and you've got to try their breakfast pizza. Oh, and jazz every night. Service that's friendly, not phoning, and at a price that'll keep you coming back. That's Colombo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Colombo's, manja.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. Call right now. That's 800-485-8803.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So Roseanne implodes, self-destructs, hundreds of people out of a job they might have had for who knows how many years. Yeah. Okay, so one lesson I want to get your guys' take on is celebrities aren't necessarily good people or smart or possessed of good judgment. And I think Roseanne's...
so pretty!
They can be, not in Roseanne's case. Roseanne's tweet, I think, was further proof of this reality that maybe we don't always appreciate because we listen to... Leonardo DiCaprio speak to the United Nations about climate change. We listen to Alec Baldwin sort of rant and rave very intently. And these folks are really good at acting, or they are really pretty, or they present well. So we really shouldn't be paying much attention to them. So isn't this another example of that?
I like our new advocate for prison reform, Kim Kardashian.
I was about to say that's a great example.
I didn't mean to do that.
I thought it was her grandmother at first that she wanted sprung, but apparently it's somebody else's
grandma. You're right, and I'm glad you said that. I thought so too. I misheard that. I thought it was her grandmother that was in trouble too.
Free Grandma Kardashian.
But it's somebody else's grandmother who I don't think she knows.
It's so funny.
And she went to Trump with it, and she poses for a picture with Trump in the Oval Office.
Somebody captioned.
Did you notice how clean his desk was? Clean as a hound's tooth.
Almost like he's not doing any work. There was a great caption of picture of Kim and Trump together. Captioned Trump. Too bad your dad's not around anymore. Yeah. He was really good lawyer, good at getting people off of murder. I might use him around this place.
Just to digress for a second, when you say he's not doing any work, I mean, the unemployment rate did go down from 3.9 to 3.8%, so maybe he's been working on that. The African-American unemployment rate is the lowest in the history of the United States, so
that's pretty good.
So maybe he's doing something. But
as
I say,
he's getting jobs for black people. Yeah, he's working on that.
Yeah. Connor, do you disagree that maybe this is evidence that we shouldn't really pay that much attention to celebrities? celebrity?
No, I think that you're right. We shouldn't pay much attention to the opinions of celebrities as experts. It's absolutely true that we fall into the trap of saying that person, because they're famous and pretty and a good actor or a good sports player or whatever, is an expert or an authority on this thing. But at the same time, I think it's a very good thing that people who have that platform for other reasons bring attention to causes that they or others have convinced them are important.
I agree. When Ted Nugent gets up to tie, I'm really happy to hear him talk about the Second Amendment.
It's bad that people say, it's very bad that people say, oh, Ted Nugent thinks that, so I should think that, or Leo thinks that, so I should think that. But at the same time, if Kim Kardashian going to the White House makes more people talk about prison reform, I'm in favor of it. I think that she's accomplishing a good thing. If her cause is good, even if she's only leveraging her celebrity, she's leveraging her celebrity
it's better than nothing?
It's better than her using her celebrity for something selfish.
All right. So
that's
issue number 2, to quote McLaughlin. Ken, did you think it was a bad thing, a mistake politically, or just wrong for Trump to, even to this moment, not come out and say, of course, I agree with the firing of her. It was a hateful, racist thing for her to have done. He has said nothing of that. All he said is, well, Mr. Bob Iger of ABC, how about the apology to me?
Right.
Unbelievable.
Do you think he makes it better, or is he being smart politically?
No, it's him. And it's just him. It's all about him. And it does, you get the feeling he doesn't care about anybody else but him.
Right.
And the third person.
And
the third person.
It is
Donald
smart.
J. Trump.
Himself.
Drives me insane.
It is smart politically because his base does not care about Roseanne saying something racist on Twitter. His base universally...
Well, now that's not fair.
They don't care.
His base consists of some racists, and I don't know if that's 1% of his base or 10 or whatever, but most of his base, I would think, are not racists, and they were disgusted by Roseanne making a Planet of the Apes joke about a black person.
Absolutely. And I think that they probably are saying to themselves, Roseanne shoots from the hip. She says what's on her mind. She's
takes
a bit
Ambien.
wacky. She takes some Ambien. She should be treated, as they have said all over Twitter recently in recent days, they should be treated just like everybody else. What about the fact that Samantha Bee comes out and uses a very bad word against Ivanka Trump, who we, for some reason, think is totally innocent and not part of the criminal conspiracy that is the entire Trump family. And so it's so unfair that we persecute people like
Bill Maher,
Roseanne just because she's conservative.
Why wasn't Bill Maher fired for using the N-word and for
right? And they're all saying it's hypocrisy. It's a false equivalency, or rather, it truly is a false equivalency. But they're saying it's hypocrisy, and they're saying that of course it was a bad racist thing for her to say, but we should treat her fairly and evenly and go easy on her because we go so easy on so many liberals, and that is really the problem. Trump can't. To get back to the original point, is this smart politics for Trump? It is, because Trump can't come out and deride Roseanne for the bad things she says, or even scold her, because that would be against the message that he's been promoting the whole time, and the conservatives are all promoting generally, that the media gives them such a bad rap. So he has to say that we're being too hard on Roseanne to stay on message, because that excuses him for his nonsense that he says, because his only excuse for all his insanity is, well, it's not that bad, and I'm getting a bad rap from the media.
Yeah, what about me? It's always what about me.
Exactly.
One thing about Bill Maher, I just want to say real fast that Bill Maher is, of course, on HBO, which makes a difference. Which means he doesn't have sponsors to answer to. Yes, he has management of HBO and Time Warner and all, which Trump hates anyway.
Plus, if kids are watching, it's only because their parents are allowing them to watch.
Or something. Yeah, but and you know what you're getting with CNN, with maybe that too, but with HBO.
Yeah.
And also Maher said the other night, plus he says, I've already been fired by ABC. Politically incorrect, fired him years ago.
That's a good
ABC fired him years ago. So
I'm going to channel Don Draper here.
Okay.
Let me run an idea by you.
Nice. Okay.
Roseanne should have gone to ABC and said, look, I need a half hour of time. Instead of another episode of Roseanne, we're going to have a half hour of me, black background, in a chair with a just glass of water, and I'm going to tell my story. My story is going to be sexually abused as a child, incredible challenges she overcame. She absolutely is totally remorseful, and she acknowledges, it was the worst in her, racist attitudes. It came out under the influence of Ambien. She is abjectly sorry. It's never going to happen again. She has seen the light, and doggone it, 90% of every dollar she makes on this show into perpetuity is going to the United Negro College Fund, NAACP. Exactly. Now, do you think that would have worked? Now,
I'd make that a series.
Richard Nixon's checkers speech pulled his fat out of the fire.
Maybe
Roseanne's fat could have been pulled out of the fire.
There's a lot of fat. I'm sorry.
Now,
I'm sorry I made a fat joke.
I don't think she deserves saving. I don't think that. Watching that, everybody would have had to utilize their own judgment and decide whether this person really was remorseful and really was changed.
People love to forgive.
They do.
They love it if there's real contrition.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is like the 80th time for her, too.
That is certainly true.
We've gone through this
and that's the problem.
Who would sponsor this now? We got to get a sponsor for this show. Ambien! Ambien would sponsor.
Brought to you by Ivory Soap.
What you're really saying is, if she truly was contrite and really changed and really was and could display that and show that to the American people, if she faked it, it wouldn't work.
Right.
If she would really have to change, and the answer is, this woman is not going to change. This racism came from who she really is. All her past insanity, conspiracy theories, nonsense, racist stuff, and political stuff that she puts out there into the world, Twitter or otherwise, came from who she really is. So it's not possible to spin her that way because it won't come off true.
All right, so Bob Iger's not going to greenlight this.
Probably not.
So let's move to the jungle primary, guys. It's finally upon us, next Tuesday, June 5. Jungle primary, meaning whoever gets the top two vote totals, Democrat or Republican, they're going to be facing off in November. And we could have two Republicans for the governor's race. I mean, Villaraigosa might beat the Republican John Cox. The Democrats, though, are freaking out because in a lot of the down-ballot races, there are 5 or 6 Democrats drawn like moths to the flame because everybody hates Trump. And so let's jump into the political climate in 2018. You could have a couple of Republicans with far fewer total votes than the 5 or 6 or 7 Democrats winding up on the ballot in November. And apparently, it's a real danger, according to Democratic strategists.
And man, oh boy, the deepest, darkest corners of liberal Twitter have been lighting up with anger at this. There's so much anger. You're saying this is just like, when people thought Gore, or rather Nader stole the election from Gore in Florida in 2000. People are saying, how could you do this again? How could you be so selfish as to say, I'm number 6 on the ballot and there's literally no way I ever win this election, but I don't care. I'm just going to steal 10,000 votes from the other Democrat. And they're saying, get out. Withdraw from the race. Stop advertising. What are you doing? You're just going to put a Republican.
Why don't they call on Gavin Newsom then to quit attacking what just quite boosting John Cox's candidacy, as that they're supposedly saying to get.
It's dog eat dog. It's brutal politics out there, and people just want to be the candidate. They don't really want their, party to win. A lot of these people are barely democratically affiliated. They're either much more liberal or secretly conservative, but they think conservatives can't win in California. So it's nonsense out there. People are definitely being selfish instead of being interested in finding the candidate who is closest to them on the political spectrum and getting that person elected. That is nobody's goal at the moment, except the average voter, of course.
So about 5 months ago, Democrats enjoyed a 13-point advantage over Republicans on the national generic ballot for Congress.
Wow.
And that's down now to 3%.
How? Did everyone forget everything that the Republicans have done?
Did I mention the 3.8% unemployment rate?
Yeah.
Unprecedentedly low.
It's the economy.
Plus, North Korea is about to denuclearize. So maybe that
depends on what's in the letter. We might open up that letter from that giant, oversized, ridiculous.
Yeah, could it be? What's in that letter?
Maybe Street-sized letter, and it just says "Screw off, D. Trump," signed KJU.
It's funny. I think one of the reasons for the jungle primary idea is that we wanted to avoid extremism. And the idea was that if we had 2 Democrats, for example, on the final ballot in November, inevitably there would be a really progressive Democrat on the left and a more centrist Democrat.
Yeah.
And the centrist Democrat is going to win because he or she not only gets the people who are right with him, he gets everybody to his right, all the Republicans. So
by default.
And yet, ironically, what's happening with the Senate race with Dianne Feinstein, she has been in favor of capital punishment for decades.
Right.
She has been in favor of the federal ban on marijuana usage for decades. All of a sudden, Kevin De Leon comes up and scares the bejesus out of her in terms of, oh my gosh, could that be a serious challenge? And she's changed her opinion in the last few months after decades, both on capital punishment and marijuana.
Capital punishment, I didn't know.
Yeah, in order to move to the left. And, traditionally you move to the extreme in the primary and you move back to the center in the general. But I mean, a lot of people are saying, come on, Dianne, this is so transparent. And to me, it's kind of strange because did she ever really think Kevin De Leon could beat her? I don't think any poll has ever shown him close.
No, I don't think so.
And so I think this is kind of undermining her credibility with the voters because she's changing her opinions.
Maybe a little bit, but at the same time, saying something like, you're now against the federal ban on marijuana, thus you're in favor of legalizing it, that might be so normal and centrist a position in California that it might be helping her position just because the voters are already so far in that direction. They have seen that now it's legalized and nobody's, the streets aren't on fire yet, and, we're not all high all the time. And so everybody's kind of thinking, maybe we should be moving on these issues. And your politicians being flexible isn't an inherently bad thing. You just don't want them to flip-flop for political advantage. So people seeing Dianne Feinstein move left might be because the whole country's moving left at the moment.
Well, that's possible. Well, it's going to be an interesting election night, and Ken Jeffries, you're with KBC
what, so you
Radio.
said the whole country is moving to the left?
Well,
then how do you explain Trump?
The country, maybe you're right, absolutely.
I don't know.
Maybe California is moving to the left is maybe what I should have been saying.
I don't know. I mean, it's so
maybe it's
weird,
not, yeah.
Well, I think there is so much criticism of Trump that can be interpreted as a general movement to the left.
Or maybe people just being sort of on the left, being inflamed at the moment, but maybe there aren't too many more people really moving that direction. They're just being highlighted as, well, if I'm a centrist, at the moment I will be leftish because I'm anti-Trump. I won't be voting for Trump because as a centrist, that guy's wacky.
Well, it's going to be an exciting election night, and you're probably going to be interviewing for KBC
on the streets.
Radio.
I'll do
Ken
some
Jeffries.
of that. Yeah,
If there's a riot, will you be out in the streets interviewing,
causing
the riot, or interviewing the rioters?
I don't know yet.
That would be so much fun. I can't wait to read it.
So I can't. But I usually watch what's on local news too. But if they interrupted for a car chase, then we're all screwed.
So another big story of the week is Donald Trump has kind of discovered the magic of pardons. And, of course, he's already pardoned a few folks. Yeah. But he's coming under criticism for politicizing. And now Sheriff Joe Arpaio, the anti-illegal immigrant guy from Arizona, was pardoned, 2 or 3 months ago by Trump. Trump pardoned Dinesh D'Souza, who was a conservative commentator who got embroiled in some election law violations a couple of years ago.
Well, I don't know. Embroiled seems pretty generous. He directed 2 people to commit election law violations and then paid them for it. But
you put it that way, it takes the shine off.
He was
to quote Larry Sanders, you guys remember the famous episode of Gary Shandling's show. Now we've got Kim Kardashian coming in, but also Martha Stewart is a possible recipient.
Were these all contestants on The Apprentice?
I know
some of them were.
The other one I was going to mention is Rod Blagojevich, the Illinois governor, and we all remember his
sold
interesting
Obama's
crime.
Tried to sell
exactly.
He was wiretapped. I guess the FBI had a tap on his phone, and he's talking to a guy, and he's saying, "This is freaking gold." Only he didn't say freaking. I'm not going to let this thing go for free. And so he was going to sell Obama's seat to somebody, and so off he goes to prison. And I guess he was on Celebrity Apprentice.
Right.
So
I didn't realize he was on too, but I heard a lot of these people were. Yeah.
So here's the question I have. It seems strange for Trump to be, pardoning people, because they're nice to him, he likes them. But compare it to Bill Clinton. He pardoned on the last day of his presidency Mark Rich, who had been indicted for all sorts of terrible fraud crimes, and he didn't even wait around. He pulled a Polanski. He went off to Switzerland, and his wife, Mark Rich's wife, had given huge amounts of money to the Clinton Library, to the Clinton campaign, and so on. And so If Clinton is going to do that, is it so bad for Trump to pardon Martha Stewart?
Maybe not. Maybe it's par for the course, or maybe they're all bad equally, and we should be saying that the political abuse of the pardon is a problem generally. The real question is Trump not doing this on the last day of his presidency, but he's doing it now to normalize the pardon so he can start handing them out? Is it a dog whistle to Cohen? Hey, don't worry, I got your back. Dinesh D'Souza's on our side. I'll pardon him too.
When we come back, Harvey Weinstein has been indicted. Stay with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Hey, Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurant.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less.
800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show. Our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. So, our moron of the week, candidate number 2, is Iran's Ayatollah, the current Ayatollah. He's given a speech talking about how terrible the United States is. The U.S. has tried various political, economic, military undertakings to hit the Islamic Republic. All these plots failed, he said. They failed like the famous cat in Tom and Jerry. They will lose again. Seriously?
Wait.
Ayatollah of Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, he makes a reference to Tom and Jerry?
Well, you know,
why not Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner?
Well, you know, Kim Jong-un is a fan of Dennis Rodman, so why can't Ayatollah be a fan of Tom and Jerry?
Wait, which one's the cat and which one's the mouse?
Tom.
Yeah, Tom would be the cat.
Tomcat.
Yeah.
Tomcat, of course. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. All right, but I mean, is it as dumb as the televangelist?
Let's vote on it. Who's the biggest moron of the week? The televangelist who wants us all to give him $54 million so he can buy a 4th private jet, or the Ayatollah for referencing Tom and Jerry in his criticism of the United States?
Dunk televangelist. This guy's a
I agree, televangelist.
I mean, it's silly. It doesn't make you look like a world leader to talk about Tom and Jerry. But
we'll make it
a really big show.
Make it unanimous. Hey, before we get to Harvey Weinstein, I know
we got to get him in.
This will be good for you. you, Ken Jeffries, since you're a radio guy, you've worked in radio for decades.
100 years.
Big survey comes out, and it turns out that radio presenters and journalists are more likely to be psychopaths than just about any other occupation. Yeah. See, I think we're proving our point right now.
I'm getting Bart Simpson. No, like, I could see that. If you want to be on radio, you kind of have to be a nut job.
You got to be a little crazy.
Yeah, you want to be in the public eye all the time.
Let me clear something up, though, because there's an article clarifying what it means to be a psychopath.
Okay.
It is one of 10 personality disorders.
10?
Yeah, and it actually is no longer referred to as being psychopathic because that refers to extreme violence and people don't know reality. A psychopathic personality disorder is the same as sociopathic, and it's basically antisocial. You disregard the rights of others. You're unempathetic. So, Ken Jeffries, now that we've clarified the definition, do you think radio people generally are unempathetic compared to other humans?
Oh, to heck with you.
So that's one. The other personality disorders are borderline personality, and when you hear that, that means anger. Histrionic, of course, that's dramatic. Narcissistic, self-importance.
Sure. Well, yeah, that would be sure.
Avoidance, excessive worry about what others think of you, anxiety. Dependent.
Oh, that's interesting. That one doesn't seem evil. That one's just sort of a
right. It's a disorder, though.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of
is
me?
when you're needy, obsessive compulsive. You obsessive preoccupation with order and self-control, and paranoid. We know what paranoid means. Schizoid is where you have little need for other people, and schizotypal personality disorders is when you're eccentric, have weird, odd ideas.
Interesting. Howard Hughes style. That's interesting.
Yeah, so now you know all 10 personality disorders, and radio people have number 1, antisocial,
Ken, you got
unempathetic.
5, 6 of those? What is it?
Yeah, all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
The full scorecard.
So Harvey Weinstein's been indicted.
Speaking
and
of antisocial.
His defense lawyer is signaling, we're going to say he didn't invent the casting couch, and it was consensual. And one of the gals who said he raped me had a 10-year relationship with him, including several years after the alleged rape. Now, legally, you may be guilty of raping a spouse or a significant other.
Yes.
Do you think Harvey is going to have better success than Bill Cosby in going after the victims in this sense?
He's the poster child for this. There's no way with all these women, just like with Cosby, it's not like one woman. We saw with Cosby, you can't just discredit one of your accusers. There's with a legion of them behind her, it doesn't matter how much you attack her credibility or how bad she personally looks. The jury's still going to go.
You may be right. You may be right. Hey, folks, we just got time for a Hot Dub Time Machine. We continue to honor 1968. Jose, play us out with a big tune from that year. I'll bet you remember this one, Ken Jeffries, from your years as a professional disc jockey.
I got nothing.
And a professional psychopath.
All right, Ken, you're going to have to help me.
It's Never My Love, and it's by, I can't remember who it is.
Wow, Never My Love, though. That's pretty good.
It's by somebody. It's just one of many fabulous tunes from the year 1968.
By who?
Hey, folks, thanks for listening. We'll tell everybody next week, Ken. I have no idea. Have a great week.
Bye.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio shows sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD.